Hey, hello, hello. Greetings and salutation. Golden, how are ya? Just gonna get into this one, I think. Jinx, what is up? How's life? Hey, how you been? How am I doing? I'm alive. This.
And you're gonna make one swell bear.
Menu. Menu? Menu. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Hi, hello. I'm doing okay so far. I had a wild weekend, which sounds so much more exciting than it actually was, but your boy's been ill. You can probably still hear it in my voice a little bit because I'm still not back to like 100%. It's been getting better, slowly but surely, so far. I think this a little lower. Yeah, I thought I just had like a sore throat for a while. Went to the doctor. And they're like, yeah, we're not really sure. We're gonna test it for, COVID and strep and all that stuff. Like, okay. Got those results, both were negative, and they were like, alright, don't really know what the deal is. But here, have some of this stuff that's supposed to like make it not hurt as much, I guess. And once that stuff is gone in a few days, you should be fine. Like, okay. Stuff was very bad, first of all. You're supposed to like.
Fine kind of bear he turned out to be.
Haru, hello.
He didn't even know how to act like a bear.
Supposed to like gargle it, because it was like for a throat thing, And it was like thick, like syrup. So already it was like, this is a nightmare. But then also it tasted very bad. Doesn't matter, because it didn't work. Like a day later, it got much worse. To the point where I had to go to the emergency room, which let me tell you, better be actually dying if you try to go to the ER in this day and age right now, I have discovered. But even if you are, you just better hope you're lucky when you get there, because I was in that waiting room for 10 hours. And I was not the only person who was there for that long. There were quite a few people who were there who were like, one dude was like bleeding actively the whole time. I was like, y'all couldn't let this man in? What's going on? But, you know, everybody on the planet has like a whole couple of pandemic situations going on, so it needs to be shorter, I think. So yeah, super duper long wait. Come to find out, had tonsillitis. Which I still technically have, I suppose. But they had to keep me like overnight or whatever. Give me like an IV, because my tonsils had swollen so much that I couldn't like eat anything or talk at all. Which was an experience. It gave me a greater appreciation for like those characters in media that like suddenly find themselves unable to talk, because that is extraordinarily frustrating. It was also kind of funny, but also kind of annoying, because it had like kept me up all, like the pain had kept me up the whole night before. So when I made the decision to go to the ER, I was like, I cannot drive myself because I will fall asleep while I'm driving this car. So I called my mom, and she like freaked out and was like, of course I'm gonna take you, and she stayed the whole time. You know how moms are. But when I would like try to explain what was going on, I had to like write it down on my phone, and I would like show it to the people every time they would ask, like, why are you here kind of questions. And they would always like look at her like, is he like able to hear and communicate back to us? And I'm like, yes, I can still hear you. I can still understand you. I just can't say anything because I can't talk. But yeah, after a crazy long day, they were like, yeah, here, take these pills and follow up with a specialist in a couple of days. So that's where I'm at right now. I have a large number of pills that I'm currently taking, and I will find out in like 2 days or so if the pills are enough, or if they're gonna have to take my tonsils out. How exciting. But I can talk well enough that I can stream today, so I'm streaming today. It was incredibly unintelligible like 2 days ago, and yesterday everything I said sounded like a whisper even if I was screaming. So I'm glad it's like at least somewhat listenable today. I think I want a line here. Says hello, and everyone else who came in while I was recounting my ordeal, hello. this. But yeah, it was a time and a half. Let me tell you. That, I think. I want this a little more like that. Yeah. Band camp season. Oh man. I was never in the band, although they tried to get me to join multiple times. Interestingly, there was another pencil I wanted to try. I think it was this one. Yeah, I wanted to join band in middle school. I was gonna try to so I've tried multiple times to learn how to play instruments, and I usually give up. I think I started 4 different instruments and am not good at any of them now. But in middle school, it's probably the closest that I got to joining the band. I was gonna play drums. But at the time, my dad had assumed that the only type of drums that you could play in a band were the big, bassy drums that you see in a marching band situation. He was like, "You don't want to do that." And I was like, "Well, I don't want to do that. You're correct there." But neither of us had accounted for the fact that snare drums exist, so later on I was like, "Oh man, I could have played those drums." Oh well. I ended up learning to play the flute for a little while. This arm is not right. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was because of the Power Rangers. Being able to play that green Megazord thing. It's like, oh yeah, heck yeah. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna be like the lone samurai guy who plays the flute sometimes. There was one note in particular that was really hard for me to play because my small middle school hands couldn't quite reach the buttons I needed to press. So it made doing scales really annoying. And I was like, I don't know if I like this. I stopped. What a fool I was. I did the same thing with piano also. I wanted to learn to play that as well. But your boy don't like doing scales, I came to discover. I've done that with a lot of things, though, now that I'm thinking about it. This is putting the cart before the horse here. Trying to do all these folds that don't make any sense. Okay, so this is mid-back, which means this leg needs to come this way. Which means it's to be more like there, and it's to be. It's probably fine, actually. Be a little bit wider so that this can come in a little more. Otherwise, that's fine. Oh wait, somebody asked me a question earlier. I was trying to figure out the sketch, so I didn't just then. In my opinion, what can stifle or ruin a drawing before it's fully realized? A lot of things. Most of the time for me, it's literally just like if the vibe is not right. You know? Yeah, drawing, like any art related endeavor, is all about just like emotion, how you feel at the time of creation of the thing. So like if you're not feeling it, then you're just not feeling it. That's the easiest way to ruin a thing. There's not really like a rhyme or a reason behind it. It's literally just like, does this work? Doesn't feel like it works. And then you either try to fix it or you do something else. Both of which are valid options. But this is gonna look super weird here. I think it's because this is like out too far is the problem here. Yes, this is Jesse with his cat. Part of me wants to just crop this so I don't have to deal with this. I don't have to deal with this one little spot. What if I just kind of bring this other leg that way as well? That way I don't have to deal with it like as much. This arm is too big also. There's that thing. There's that thing. Dang. This is why one of the more important art rules to learn is general to specific. Because I like this arm a lot, but it's not in the right place. Because of that, it's bad. You can have the most amazing, like, rendered thing in the world, but if it is in the wrong place, it will always look wrong. Well, unless you're going for like some sort of stylistic thing, but That's the exception, not the rule. So try to get your things in the right spots first. An Among Us pillow. I don't really want to do that, but I will honor the thing that you've redeemed. Kind of going for like a chill, sort of tender vibe here, but the Among Us pillow is just going to be a whole lot of memes in the comments. But that's fine. Now that I'm looking at this, I still kind of want this to be more like that shape. Something like that. I kind of like this pencil actually. I wasn't sure about it at first, but it's growing on me. The Among Us pillow wearing Tank's tank top. I cannot do that because he is wearing Tank's tank top. That's the drawing. That's the thing that we're doing already. And now I'm like, sometimes I'll flip the canvas in an attempt to fix something, and then I'm like, oh man, now I like it this way. So maybe I'll keep it this way. Something like that, I guess.
You're gonna make one swell bear.
Taka, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. I hope all is well, wherever it is that you're at. Jesse used this as his Tinder profile pic. No. Jesse doesn't use Tinder. He doesn't leave the house. Oops, I need to get rid of that. Maybe just put a line there instead. No. Oh, that's why. This needs like a little... This little doodad here. Whatever that's called. Jesse doesn't generally meet new people anyways for either of those reasons. Like even at work, because he works like from home, so he just joins whatever video call he needs to be on long enough for him to explain why he's there. Oops. Jesse is not the person who would say that it could have been an email, but he would feel that with every call that he was ever on. All of them could be emails. He's like the type of person who would like respond to his emails immediately also, so he's definitely like, are you wasting my time here? Maybe I'll just give him like a little Among Us like cat toy situation. That way it's still like there, but I don't really have to deal with the repercussions of Jesse having an Among Us pillow. That is definitely never going to come up again. No, it just kind of looks like it's floating there, though. I need to get the perspective right. Ugh. I guess that would be more like this shape. Holler, hello. Welcome. Okay. So now it needs to be more like that, I guess. So we can get rid of some of that up there. Something like that. Like that. Making like plushy versions of things is actually very annoying. I'm discovering this right now. Because hard edges are so much easier to like distinguish, but trying to like make them look like they're rounded takes a surprising amount of work. I think we did it though. I think we're fine with that. Okay, I do need to figure out this hand though. Probably like that, probably like here. Yeah. Oh. Legitimately cannot believe that I actually got that hand the way that I wanted it to be. Like that quickly. I am astounded. It is slightly too big though, which is unfortunate. But like, wow. You ever do a thing and you're like, wow, you did that. I love when that happens. It's easy to forget what you're capable of, you know? Let's put another pillow in here. Struggling with hands? Yeah. Hands are always a struggle. I like to say that hands are a thing that you never get good at. You just get better at like convincing other people you're not bad at them. But no one is ever truly good at hands. It is impossible. Hands cannot be defied. Oops. Keep forgetting that these are like tilt sensitive brushes. Oh man. But wait, if it's this side, that means I definitely have to change his hair situation. And his arm situation a little bit. I want to keep this like mostly covered face situation happening here. Kind of like that vibe. Oh no. drawing tutorial for hands. Honestly, it feels like a hand drawing tutorial is like the #1 way to get, like, if you want to get your name out there in the art world on the internet, make a tutorial about how to draw hands, because everyone's going to share it. But like, drawing hands is one of those things that's like everybody's constantly always looking for how to draw hands, you know? I don't know if I want that there, actually. Maybe bring this down here like that. And then this up here like that. I think. Peek early. Nah, man, you can always do better hands. And then you just put out a new tutorial after and be like, here's the revised way. Also, Homer, hello, welcome. And Fallout, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Alright, so I do need to change his hair, unfortunately, because that's not the side that this is on. So that means this needs to be more like this shape. I could probably get away with doing that. First time here, well, welcome. Hope you enjoy your stay. I wish I had like a cool streamer name for like the chat or whatever, but I don't really have one that I've decided on, so welcome to me drawing things on the internet, I guess. I really do gotta like try getting into like a game stream again or something. Those are pretty fun. It's further back now because of the angle we're at. Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like I'm not nearly as like interesting or entertaining to be streaming a game for as long as it takes to play games, you know? Unless I'm doing it in such a way that I don't like care about the game. At which point I probably wouldn't really be playing the game very much, you know? I don't know if I like this. This cat just keeps getting bigger because he keeps getting smaller. It's funny. Okay, so let's try to fix that by bringing this guy in a little bit more. Like here. Wait. Let me just turn this a little, I think. Yeah. Something like that, I think, will be fine. below. Have no finished works. I don't know what that means. Anything is done and finished when you're done with it, if that makes sense. Like even if it's just like a half-done sketch, if you're done drawing it, it's done. Try not to like put it on such a high pedestal, you know? It's just scribbles on paper or pixels on a screen. If you try to hold it up to some huge standard that it needs to be like some great work of art worthy of a museum, you're never gonna do anything. Because you'll constantly be beating yourself up about it the whole time. I want this to be a little more this way. But yeah, like learning from stuff, cool, great. Of course, we'd love to see it. But you can't like compare yourself to folks that you want to learn from. Because the entire like virtue of the fact that you want to learn something from them probably is an indication that they've been doing it for quite a long time. So any sort of comparison you try to make between yourself and them is inherently going to like put you at a disadvantage, which can be a pretty like it's a huge bummer of a mindset to put yourself in as someone who still does this all the time. Like you have to really stay like vigilant about not super duper comparing your work to the works of other people, because you don't necessarily know like how long they've been doing it, where they've come from, what their experiences are like, you know, all that sort of stuff. I want another pillow here. Have I ever played Gartic Phone? I've played it one time, and it was fun. But the last time I played it was with like my friends casually, and then they were like, "Oh, we can't play this game with you." So that has also happened to me with TKO, my favorite of the Jackbox games, where people are like, "Oh, we know who's done this drawing, this shirt." Obviously, it's like, well, that kind of spoils it a little. An additional pillow, perhaps? No. I don't like this pillow that I've drawn, but I do want another thing over there. That's the thing. If I just put like blankets here or something. Blankets might be the way to go. You can. Color Among Us, it depends on the color of the piece as a whole. I'm thinking it's probably going to be like blue or purple or something, some kind of cool color. Because they sleep in, so it's going to be like a nighttime situation. What's going on here? What have I done? This doesn't really read as blankets like at all. Oops. UI. Try getting rid of some of these extra lines. Wait, hold on. Paraphrase who? I'm confused. Visually compare what you've achieved and what is missing from your work. There's something sort of. I mean, yeah. But also, like, don't do it too much. Unless your, like, personality type can, handle it. Because for me, when I do that too often, what usually happens is I become overwhelmed and depressed. So you compare yourself to other people far too much. You always kind of run that risk a little bit. Like, it's good every now and again to be like, oh, I love the way that this person does this. I should try that. But you can't, like, just don't do it too much, I guess, is what I'm trying to say here. Because it is definitely a way to burn yourself out and or like discourage you super hard. Certainly not as like formal as like making a literal checklist, Like you can kind of keep like inspiration around and like reference around, but not in the way of like, I need to do this, 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 and this. Otherwise, I'm not a real artist, or I'm not the artist I want to be, because you will absolutely drive yourself crazy that way. I'm a big proponent of like, just like do the stuff you like to make and find out what that is along the way. Always just be trying new things and learning new stuff as you go. This song is too intense. I'm skipping it. But yeah, that's I guess part of a lead into like a question that I see online a lot, where people are like, how do you develop your style? And like questions in that vein. Where like the real answer is that your style is literally just a combination of things that you like and do not like to do when you make stuff. So the only way to develop your style is to just keep making things. When you find something you like to do, you'll keep doing it. That becomes part of your style. When you find a thing you don't like to do, you won't do it, and that also becomes part of your style. In some cases. Like your boy here likes heavy lines thin lines stress me out because it means I have to be more meticulous when I fill stuff in later. So because I like to use heavier lines, that's part of my style. Sometimes people will say, oh, I love the way that your style has these heavy lines. What made you do that? And it's literally just like what I explained just now. Heavy lines are easier for me to be fast. So, you know, try stuff. Try not to like beat yourself up about the way other people do stuff. Give it a try. See if you like it. If you do, cool. If you don't, cool. Not the end of the world. But just, you know, the main thing is just try not to think of art as like a science where there's like a way to do a thing. There's an infinite number of ways to do all of the things. There's no one right answer for any problem. Most of the time. So get out there and make some stuff or whatever. I don't like this. That's because this is too low. I've been referencing other pictures besides model pics. That's not bad. Granted, certain types of photos will only get you so far sometimes, but having a reference is better than not most of the time. And as long as you're learning still, then it doesn't really matter what kind of reference you use. If that makes sense. Like, if you're still looking at the references and actively determining, like, okay, here's where this form is, here's where this shape is, here's where this line goes, then that's fine. But if you're like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna draw this because it looks like this, and it's like, oh yeah, this looks like that, and that goes there, and blah blah blah, and you're like not even looking really at the reference, then that's when you run into problems, and you should probably try something different. But yeah, sometimes even just doing like studies of other stuff that you like is fine and good, as long as you're not like posting it on the internet like, look at this thing I drew all by myself, when it's a study of someone else's work. Then those are really good to try. Because you can learn a lot from trying to navigate the way that another person solves problems, where it's like, that's the thing, really, I guess, is what I'm getting down to here. The key to like any of these sort of like references and exercises and stuff like that is that you need to be thinking while you're doing it. Like, you can't just draw a thing as like an exact copy without really considering why the choices the artist made or the photographer made or whatever. Or in the case of like a pose reference, right? Like, can't just draw the pose without thinking about why the person is in the pose that they're in. That makes sense. Like, if you see a person doing like a cool tennis move, just doing the cool tennis move like once or twice as a drawing would be cool and fine, but the actual goal that you should be coming into it with is like, okay, why is this pose like this? Well, because this arm does this arm connects to that, this muscle does this, and because of the way that the weight is distributed, this person does this, like that sort of thinking, right? Because the whole point of studies like that is to learn through some of those things that have already been figured out by someone else in an effort to have that knowledge to pull from when you create something original later. It's all about just like thinking and learning, and that sort of practice that comes along with that gives you the muscle memory to sort of lean on the things you've learned later on. Right? Does that make sense? I hope so. At least that's like how I do it. I don't know. Maybe I don't speak for everyone there, but like I just saw a thing the other day on Twitter where someone was like, when y'all sketch, do you be thinking about stuff? And it's like, yes, of course. That's the whole point of the sketch. Is that you're trying to figure out where things go. Sketch should always be the part where you're thinking like the hardest about all sorts of stuff, like your composition, anatomy, pose, where you might want to put color later, all that stuff goes through in the sketch, you know? Now, there are some things that you definitely can put off. I do that a lot myself. It's like, I don't want to figure this out until I get to it later. Usually for me that involves color stuff, but that doesn't usually come up too hard in the sketch, so I can get away with that for a little while, but a lot of times that's just procrastinating, and you're still going to run into those problems later, so it's best to kind of think about it while you can. That's usually why I'm not paying super close attention to the chat when I'm sketching, is because I'm constantly like zipping around looking at things in relation to other things and trying to figure out what I want this image to look like by the end. Yeah, that's pretty much what I'm getting at, Jack. There was some advice that I was given as a graphic design major And this rule mostly applies to graphic design, but it does still also apply to like a lot of other places where I'll explain it in the graphic design way first, and then I'll sort of adapt it to what I'm getting my point to be in a second. So bear with me for a little bit. But the advice that was given to us was for like when you're presenting something to a client and if the client has like a question about a decision you made in regards to the thing you've designed for them, anytime they ask, why did you do this? Your answer should never just be, oh, I thought it looked cool. Or something like that. Like some kind of vague non-answer. So the way that it relates to other stuff is, I mean, of course that doesn't necessarily apply to like illustration and like comics or whatever. But when it comes to like when you're looking at art and you go into creating a thing based on that art that you like with the intention of like trying to learn, your attitude should never just be, oh, I'm just going to put this line here because it looks really cool, or like whatever. You should be trying to figure out like, okay, I like this. Why do I like this? What is it about this thing that I like? Because sometimes you're not going to be able to create like a one-to-one recreation of the thing you're looking at simply because of like the medium you're working in being different, or just like you straight up don't have the experience that the artist had, right? Like I'm not gonna jump out here and draw some like Marvel Comics looking comics day one. It's just like some guy. You know what I mean? Like these are people who have been doing this for like decades. So you can't go into it with the expectation that you're going to create like a one-to-one copy. I mean, some people can. I'm not that guy. So here, the way that I cope and have learned is that you have to sort of approach it like piece by piece, where it's like, okay, I like this thing. Why do I like this thing? If I have the opportunity to try and recreate a thing from this image, what is the thing that I want to create or recreate? Because a lot of the time, even in these like drawings that I'm doing all the time here, especially when I used to do them every day, it was never a question of like, all right, today I'm going to make this huge masterpiece or whatever. Let's move my iPad a little bit. Frame. It's never like I'm going to make, let me sit down and forge a new masterpiece creation for the world to see. It's never that. It's always like, okay, I want to do a thing today. What is that thing that I want to do? And then everything else is sort of secondary to that. So like, for example, I would be like, okay, I want to draw this boy hugging this cat today. And then everything else after that sort of falls into place based on the one main idea that I've got. The same can be true for like your studies sometimes, where it's like, okay, I like this one element of this thing that I'm staring at. Can I recreate that? Or what is it about this one element that I enjoy? Why do I enjoy it this much? What is it about this that I find appealing? How can I capture that or make a note of that? Because a lot of the times, sketches and studies and things of that nature are strictly like, they're just like taking notes in class. Like a lot of the time they're going to be pretty illegible to most people. And that's fine. That's not what they're for. They're mostly just going to be there for you to reference later or to build the muscle memory that you need to do other things. Like, if I just posted one of these every day, people be like, oh yeah, that's cool, great, sure, whatever. I'm not expecting anyone to decipher any of this. That's not what this is for. This is so I can figure out, oh, okay, these lines go here. And then eventually, like, colors go in places and blah, blah, blah. That sort of stuff. It's never, like, your sketch should never be held to such a standard that it can stand on its own. I mean, of course, some people are, like, the exception to this rule where they're like an animator or whatever and have been doing this for like years and years and can just pump out a really quick sketch and it looks amazing. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about are like the sketches that you do very quickly to try and get an idea down, or like when you're intentionally trying to learn something to come back to it later. Those sorts of things you just can't, well, I mean, I guess you can. You can do whatever you want, really, but as a person who has dealt with these things before and has been stressed out by them, I will say that what I have learned in my experience is that if you try to go into all of your little sketches with the idea that it's going to be a perfect masterpiece every time, you will be done with the sketch after far longer than you intended to spend on it, and you'll look at it and say, this is garbage and I never want to draw again. If you are like me, that is what happens. And it's not a super healthy mindset to constantly be putting yourself in. That's all I'm really getting at here. Drawing should be fun. You're like making entire worlds and scenarios and just like tons of cool stuff off from your brain. You did those things. That's amazing and cool. Don't like put yourself in a position where you'll beat yourself up about that. That's all I want. I just want you guys to be happy. This hair is a little too long, but that's fine. How they do certain things or how they drew their characters. Yeah. I mean, that sort of stuff is fine. I do that stuff still. Constantly. I did it like not long ago with the boys in their eyes even. Where it's like, oh, I like the way that this person draws eyes. Let me try to draw that style of eyes on these people. And I did, and I liked it. And then it was like, cool, I'll just do that now. So it doesn't have to come from like a place of like, need to cross this off my checklist of things to become art. I can never be art until I do these things. It's like, no, that's not what the it's like the fast track to being burnt out and sad. Try to have fun and enjoy it. That's all. I feel like there was another point that I was making that I got sidetracked about and forgot. So if that was a thing and there's a, a burning question that someone asked that I forgot to answer, please let me know. I just had that feeling that I've been rambling. Messy, misshapen attempts. Well, yeah. That's what I'm saying. They're never gonna be like exactly the way that like the original artist did, because like you're not a copy machine and you're not the original artist, so of course it's gonna be a little bit different. The point is to be okay with those little differences and focus on the things that you want to not be so different, if that makes sense. I remember one of the like very first things that I learned to draw was some Shadow the Hedgehog fan art, because Sonic Adventure 2 had like just come out. So I was like, oh yeah, edgy boy, I can draw that. So I studied this one picture of Shadow the Hedgehog and I learned how to draw it real good. It was always still a little bit off, but it was pretty close. And so I would draw that one thing and people would be like, wow, you know how to draw? And it's like, yeah, I do. And then they would be like, can you draw this? And then I would be like, no. I only know how to draw the one guy in this one pose exactly. And even then, it's still not very good. And then at that point, it was like the scene that shows up in like the like black and white scene from every infomercial where they're like, there's gotta be a better way. And it turns out that unfortunately that way is practicing other things and just drawing a bunch. I think that's part of the reason that I could never really stick to instruments, because I was constantly doing that with drawing all the time, and it just is much more fun with drawing. For me personally. Because with instruments, it's like, you gotta learn your scales. And with drawing, it's like, yeah, you kind of have to learn the color wheel a little bit, probably. But it doesn't always feel as repetitive as like pressing the same couple of buttons in sequence a bunch of times. There's a bunch of neat little exercises and experiments and stuff like that you can try. At least that's how I feel. But I'm a guy who has quit like 4 instruments, so I might not be the best person to give advice about that particular comparison. Tutorials, but they were too simple and generic. That's the problem with like some tutorials I've come to find. It's for that same thing I was talking about with like the sketches. Especially if it's like a tutorial and like a here's how to draw something book. It's usually just like, okay, you draw this circle and then you draw this and then you draw that and then you got the thing. Congratulations, you've done it. But it doesn't really like explain to you why you're doing the things that you're doing as part of the tutorial. And that's the important part. Because it's like, yeah, you draw this circle. And then you put this line here, and that's where the eyes go. It's like, oh, okay, I'll just put the eyes wherever. But they don't really, they don't ever explain to you, like, okay, this line goes where it goes because of this relation to, like, this part of the skull and your head. And, like, if you move this line this way or this way, it'll look different because reasons, like those sorts of things. Tutorials don't often explain fully well. Now, there are a few people online who do very good art tutorials that do go into those sorts of explanations for, like, here's why you put this here, here's what happens if you move it somewhere else, and, like, why you might want to move it sometimes and why you probably don't want to move it sometimes. All that sort of stuff. Race. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I'm always constantly, like, learning new things, so because of that, sometimes I feel not especially qualified to be giving advice about stuff. Put this, like, right here, I think. I don't want to draw his mouth, is the thing. I think it'll look better without it. Okay. Let's do some color stuff now. I wanted, like, a cooler palette, so let's try this to start. It does slightly affect my initial color placement, because the light was going to come from this way, because that's the direction his window is. So let's try that a little, see what that does. Many that you try to emulate. I mean, that's normal though. That's the thing for everybody. There's a saying that, what is it? Good artists copy, great artists steal. Which is to say that, like, every artist is influenced by something. What's important is how you use those things to inform your own artistic decisions. Pull this down here. So we want this to be not quite as dark. With this one. That's probably fine. We want... Let's try this for now. All over the place. Don't try to break down what it is they do. Yeah. You just gotta try and come at it from a different perspective. Like, it's one thing to just sort of copy a thing. And that does give you stuff like the muscle memory from having created a similar thing, or a vague understanding of like the process to create the thing. But if you're not really like thinking about the decisions that you make while making something, it's harder to learn from the thing that you're making. It's like in it's like in The Karate Kid, where Mr. Miyagi is having him do the wax on, wax off situation. He's like, why am I doing this? And he gets all mad. But then Miyagi shows him, I've secretly been training you this whole time to tell you this technique or whatever. But it's like if he kind of went into it from the start, he wouldn't have gotten so frustrated at the fact that it felt like he wasn't making any progress. That feels like a poor example, but that's kind of what I'm getting at. It's like if you understand what you're doing as you're doing it, it will seem less like you're wasting time and more like you're making progress towards a goal that you want to achieve. I don't know how this is going to look. That's not terrible. I don't hate it. Eh. Oh, wait. Let me... color in this thing. Okay, hello. It is the cat. The cat is here, doing cat things. Which is to say, sleeping. Is this anything? That's fine. It's fine, I guess. is this? What are you? I don't know. Must not be that important. Put these away now. Good enough. Yes, it is the cat's toy. I don't know if I said that out loud. But yes. Let's try this. Wait, actually, I need, let's go with this. And I do my best to stay within this one color palette today. Will it work? Probably not. Still gonna try though. Actually, I'm like almost definitely gonna have to change it once I get to skin tones and things. That's fine. Ekvetica, hello. Jesse did not give him this toy. He just showed up with this toy one day. The cat does what it pleases. It's not Jesse's cat. It's just a cat who shows up to Jesse's house sometimes. Because they're technically not allowed to have pets. But the cat cannot be stopped. I feel like that might be a fun story to go into one day. It's just like, whose cat is it actually? I didn't really ever decide. And then it could be like a whole Airbud situation where they're like calling to try and be like, whichever person the cat comes to is the real owner of the cat. That would be stupid. Part of me just really wanted to draw a cat because of all the stray news that I keep seeing all over the place. Game seems fun. But I haven't gotten around to it. Fortunately for me. Stray is fun, I'm glad. My favorite thing about it so far has been seeing the modder community with that game. It's been so precious. Where they're like, yeah, the game's exactly the same, only I made the cat look like my cat. It's like, yeah, of course they did. Heck yeah. Put your cat in that game. Yeah, there was one where someone made a Garfield too. That one was pretty good. Oops. It does seem like a neat game, though. It's one of those ones that's like on my like Steam wish list that I probably won't play for a long time. Wait, what am I doing? This is all part of this. Just gonna do this now to make sure that's all fine. Okay. Just gonna do this now while I'm like in the general vicinity, because otherwise I will absolutely forget about this. Yeah, one of the reasons that I'm not getting Stray is because another game that I'm looking forward to comes out in like 3 days or something. And I don't want to like rush through Stray while trying to play this other game. It's called Bear and Breakfast. The art for it is delightful. You play as a bear who's trying to manage a series of bed and breakfasts in the woods. He's a big dumb bear, so all the promotional stuff for it, he just makes it worse. I don't know if that's actually part of the game. I feel like it'd be fun if it was. Okay. So now I'm gonna fill this in with his actual skin color and turn it down some. Just to kind of try and preserve this palette a little bit. Oops. Oh. This needs to be darker also. Maybe this? Probably fine. Yeah. I've been following them for quite some time. They've had little bits of promotional art out for a while, and as they've been getting closer to the release, it's been more frequent, so I've been getting more jazzed about it. And luckily I am a PC player, so I don't have to wait, because they had to delay it for consoles a little bit to get the controls right. So I was like, yeah, cool. Oh, that's the other thing. I forgot a couple of these. Trying not to get too carried away with these. Oops. Good enough. What's the thing? This thing. This color. I already regret this decision. This color. This might be okay. Can't help but feel like there was another thing coming soon that I cannot remember. But I was like kind of looking forward to it. I just don't remember what it was. These need to be heavier. Starting to get a little too in the weeds with these. Trying to get the spacing right or whatever. I need to be not doing that. this color. Sometimes plaid is fun to draw. But only sometimes. Okay. I'm gonna have to definitely turn this down once I put it in, because it is going to stand out a lot. Although I suppose it's not like end of the world that this particular garment stands out. Probably going to be the thing people notice about it anyways, but that's fine. Something like there is probably fine. Still needs to be like slightly noticeable, but like just don't want it to be blinding, you know? Put all those together. I have to look up this cat pattern again. Always forget. This is just oh no, Tank literally just thinks he lost that shirt. He doesn't know where it's at. He doesn't keep track of his shirts as well as he should. But that's on him. That's his thing. Gotta find a picture of this cat. I'm like 90% sure that I know what the pattern is, but every time I'm like, oh yeah, I know how the cat looks like, I'm wrong. Just trying to find decently accurate, just to make sure I'm not completely misremembering the pattern I decided to put on this cat. Part of the cat problem is that I don't draw the cat often enough to really fully remember exactly how the pattern goes, but also I don't draw the cat enough because I don't fully remember how the pattern goes. It's a real catch-22 situation. How to find this cat? Wow, it's been a long time since I've drawn the cat. Okay. Maybe not as much as I thought, but that's what it feels like. So I need... Definitely not going to use that color right away. Oh, bummer. This picture doesn't have this part of the cat. Dang it. What I want to say is that it comes down like this, but I'm not sure. This is the problem with trying to keep things consistent in my brain all the time. Sometimes it's just way easier to just do whatever. But no. Gotta have the right pattern on the cat. Gotta have the window in the right side of the room and the light coming from the correct direction. All these problems I keep making for myself all the time. What a struggle. It's really not that bad. I just don't like having to scroll while on stream. For a thing that I feel like I should know how to draw. Oh my gosh. How long has it been since I've drawn this whole cat? Been a long time. Okay. I was correct also. But I was incorrect about this part. This cat has like... Section might be too high up for the ends of his back feet. I'm gonna bring it down to like here, I think. Yeah, fine. Good enough. Who cares? The answer is me. Who cares? The edges of the cat are not this rough generally, but for the sake of this one particular image, I'd roughen it up a little more. Just for a little bit of visual interest. These lines don't look so harshly defined. Cat. Boy. Okay. Try this now. Get those colors in there a little bit more. Pretty good. I guess I need to actually figure out what kind of blending mode I want here. That's probably fine. I don't know that I will do shadows for this one today, but there are some spots that I definitely have like shadows in mind. I'm trying to keep it like fairly simple, so I don't want to get too in the weeds with like where shadow shapes are going and that stuff. I want to let like these highlights kind of determine that for me a little bit. Not even like determine, but sort of like allude to those. I guess is the term. Oops. I think I am gonna have to do those shadow shapes, unfortunately. Now that I'm thinking about it, it's really the only part that's gonna be highlighted is our friend here. Everything else is behind him. Bible Studies 420, hello. And welcome. Recovering from tonsillitis. Something like that, I guess. Oops. I'm gonna try something here, actually. Just because I don't do this a ton, it's usually pretty fun. I don't know. I don't know about this one, you guys. That's probably fine. It's probably like that. that. Gonna take a nap. I don't blame you. Everybody loves a good nap. They're like good for you or something. Wretched day of making art. Oh no. My condolences for your very bad day, apparently. Was it that it was like art that you didn't want to be making, or was it like not turning out the way that you wanted it to? Both of those are pretty annoying in their own way. Cecil cursed Jesse into a cat form? What? Micah, you're on some like whole other level of thinking here. It's a delightful place, but it's not magical. Not in that way. Nothing works like you're bad at rendering. Oh no. Hate those kind of days. There's a pink bear. I mean, yeah. But it's not magical. It's just pink. Actually, maybe the bear is magical. But he's the only magical thing. No more magical things. Because then it becomes too easy to hand wave stuff that doesn't make sense. Oof. It's magical that the bear is pink. That's not necessarily true. Maybe it's some kind of weird science thing. We don't know. The bear is a cryptid. No one's been able to study it. Where the bear be? He's all over the place. Just look at those emotes. He's right there. He's been there the whole time. The call has been coming from inside the house. It's pretty okay. I guess let's just go with this. Just below that for now. Doing the Easter egg for the bear. The bear shows up sometimes in the backgrounds of things. Don't worry, you'll see him again, I'm sure. I guess multiply. I don't really like using multiply for shadows. Mostly because I feel like I do it all the time. The idea for the bear, I just wanted to draw a bear and I wanted it to be that color. I like that color. And I've never seen a bear that color before. Ah. Drawing shadows for patterns like plaid is always ever so slightly more confusing than it needs to be, it feels like. Oops. Mega Man, hello. Who were some of the biggest influences? I don't know. I don't have like a list of like people specifically, just general like style decisions, if that makes sense. Yeah, like just lots of random anime, cartoon style tropes. Usually pretty big influences for me. Shadow the Hedgehog. I mean, I guess technically you're not wrong. It was Shadow the Hedgehog, and then like immediately after was like so much Kingdom Hearts fan art. So probably those two properties. We have to do one more pass on this just for a couple of key shadow spots. And here I was thinking that this was just going to be a simple, keep this real easy, not going to do a whole lot. What a fool I've been. Trying to think of like who lately has been a large inspiration for me. lots of really cool people on the old internet, you know? But yeah, interestingly, a lot of the like biggest influences can come from like non-art places. That was always the part that was like interesting about going to like art school that had like a it was like a regular college situation that just had like an art major track. So I still had the like general education requirements that you would have like at any other kind of college. But those like gen ed classes were often some of the ones that inspired me the most to do stuff. Just as a means of being like, oh yeah, this thing's pretty interesting. That's pretty cool. What if I did something like that for this other thing? So a lot of times I'll find references and inspiration from just folks doing other things completely unrelated. Like a lot of my favorite folks to watch on YouTube are like makers, people who build stuff. Not necessarily artists in general. There are a few artists, don't get me wrong. But I find that the channels that I spend the most time on are people who are like building things and making things. I was on like a whole rabbit hole situation, like rewatching a person that I find very interesting. If you're looking to watch a chill person make fun stuff, check out Studson Studio. Makes like miniatures of things, like diorama style stuff, but it's almost always made from trash, and I love that. And also, he just seems like a very pleasant dude. I've watched him build his like Howl's Moving Castle build like 4 times. It's because it's like delightful, and every now and again I'll be like, oh, let's watch this again. Which I think is funny because I don't usually like rewatch a lot of stuff. Like plot related stuff like TV and movies I kind of have to be like in the right mood or mindset for, but stuff like that, it's like, oh yeah, I'll watch this dude build this thing again. Pretty funny. Laximus, hello. How are you, friend? Maybe this whole thing, actually. I mean, trying to think about like stuff I want to rewatch just reminded me that I have to get Everything Everywhere All at Once and watch that again. It's so good. Friend's gonna watch it with you. Nice. Heard nothing but good things. That's because it's good. It's legitimately one of my favorite movies now. It was like such a bummer to go from that to the Marvel movie about multiverses and being like, this is not at all how you could have done it. You should have done it like Everything Everywhere. That was much more interesting. But what can you do, you know? Say legitimately? I'm not allowed to say legitimately. It's a legitimate term. Morbius still number one. You're not wrong.
And you're gonna make one swell bear.
Hold your own. Hello and welcome. Thank you for the follow. I hope all is well. Haven't seen either. Memes aside, Morbius is not worth your time. I mean, maybe it is. It depends on if you're watching it with like a group of friends that you can spend the whole time dunking on the movie with, but if you're just going to see a film and you want it to be a good film, you will not have that experience with Morbius, unfortunately. As someone who saw both of those things in theaters. Who would be the first to morb tank? No, actually, that's a more difficult question than I thought it would be. It would probably be Roz. Roz just to mess with Jesse, and then Tank wouldn't know what he was talking about. But once he explained it to him, Tank would join in. I think is how that would go. Ty, hello. How's it going? Excellent, nice. Glad that you think it's excellent. And hi, friend. How are things? I'm still dying. Sometimes I forget I'd be dying. Why am I dying? Not literally dying. Well, I mean, I guess everybody's dying, technically, if you want to get existential about it, but I have tonsillitis that I'm recovering from. What song do I want at my funeral? Okay, I have thought about this before, but it's like a thing that I would want just because I think it would I think it would make a cool moment in a movie, but nobody at the funeral would understand, and it would be like the most what is happening? But there's a song. Oh, now I'm gonna have to look this up really quick. Hold on. Because I want to make sure I get it correct. I think it's called, yeah. It's called The Fall by the Proto Men. I think. Yeah. Called The Fall by the Proto Men. Check it out. It's a very dramatic song. And it would be like the sort of song that would be really cool to have playing like as a like person is being like lowered into a casket in a movie, like an action movie. You'd be like, heck yeah. I want that. But then like everyone in real life would be like, what is happening? What am I listening to? What's going on? It would completely not at all produce the desired result. It would just be for me, which is not who a funeral is generally for. Typing it in. It's literally just called The Fall by the Proto Man. I'm not capitalizing anything because that's too much ask. Too much of a thing for me to do at this point in time. If you have not heard the Proto Men, though, I do suggest you check them out because they're pretty rad. Mega Man can tell them. Tell them, Mega Man. I'm just assuming you've heard the Proto Men because your name is Mega Man, but I'm not actually sure if that's true. They're really rad, though. I am legitimately saying that you should check them out. Britney Spears Circus. Nice, nice. I did put an Among Us in this one because someone asked. It was a Easter egg reward, so that is the toy that the cat has come home with this time. Is the Among Us. Oops. Man, now I just want to listen to the Proto Men, and I'm sad that I can't, because Twitch will get mad at me if I try. I feel like I complain about that at least once a stream now. So let me listen to my music, Twitch. You cowards. Sad Proto Men whistles. It would only sometimes be the Proto Men, in fairness. Probably for the best. It's like saving you guys from the weird ambient stuff I listen to when I'm drawing sometimes. I was on a whole vaporwave kind of kick for a little while there. Got really into Death's Dynamic Shroud for a minute. That's like all vaporwavy, experimentally sounding stuff that's like, if you were to come in mid-song, you would be like, what is happening? Something wrong with the stream. But it's all about the vibes, you know? Sometimes those kind of vibes make good art. Or at least put you in the right mind space to make stuff. Probably. Some of that there. Heard the Proto Men before? Nice. They've been around for a minute. The vocalist has like a very distinctive singing voice, in my opinion. Like when you hear him, you're like, oh, it's that guy. He just has like that sound. Da-da-da-da. Actually, another fun song for a funeral would be the Katamari theme song. Just trying to like watch people be sad while singing along, I think would be very funny. The music choices aren't weird. Wait, which ones? Like the funeral ones? I feel like any funeral choice of song is a little strange. Although going back to that thing I was talking about earlier, I'm like slightly not as sensitive about stuff like that. Because one of those gen ed classes I had to take was an anthropology class. And the class happened to be about like funeral rites for various cultures throughout the world. And the professor was like super into it. It was very cool to see. It was very much that trope of like super happy, like flower petals, everything's wonderful kind of person. But then she's like, yeah, we're going to talk about death for an hour today. It's like, cool. Like you would expect to be like a sad and like broody type of person, but it was like the exact opposite. what Felix's answer would be? Probably like Blackpink. Blackpink in your area. Etc. etc. It's like the only K-pop group I know, though. So maybe that's just me. Some certified bangers out of them, though. In fairness, the like 2 or 3 songs of theirs that I've heard, I've enjoyed. Doing too much. Stop doing that thing that I'm doing right now. What else? I meant to do thing here, I think. No. Why are you like this? Fine. Goes this way, actually. Yeah, I think that's fine. There's a couple other things I wanted to do, but before I do that, I'm going to do this, because I haven't done this in a while, so... let's do it. This is like not at all where this would go if this was actual clothing, but we're sacrificing realism for legibility here. Oh, that's right. This layer now. Get some of these in here. Something like that, I guess. I think I'm getting a little too in the weeds with these now. They're just so fun to draw. I'm gonna stop though. And I need... Just bring this a little further down like that. Oh no. Probably a little more like that, I think. Ricky, hello. There was one other thing I wanted to do with this, and now I can't remember what that thing is. So it must not have been that important. So anyways, I started grouping. Copy and paste this canvas here. Let's toss some gradient maps on it. This one might be okay. Don't hate that. overlay a little bit. Let's try this one, because sometimes that can be fun. That so much. Do kind of like that a little bit. I don't know. I think I'm just gonna keep it this way. A little like this. It's a little like that, I guess. Copy, paste. Oops. This one. Get rid of this here pixel. Yeah. I think this might be it. This might be a done one, friends. There's still a couple things that I do want to do, but... Oh wait, I remember the thing that I wanted to do now, actually.
You're gonna make one swell bear.
Is it this? Yeah, okay. Alarian, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. I think it was like this. Yeah. There, that there. Go here. That's gonna need refining in a minute. This can go here. All of these. Oops. Oops. This color is probably fine. Those. And this. This color for this. Yeah, I think that's fine. Yeah. So all I really wanted to do here is just sort of knock down these colors in a few spots. So you can kind of see like, not like crazy effective in every spot. Like I'm not trying to make these lines invisible by any means, but trying to lighten them up a little bit. Just so that some of these heavier spots aren't quite as heavy, you know? This area was the spot that I said needed touched up. So I'm gonna do that real fast. Oh, so. That's honestly probably fine. Yeah, like it's not like a ton of a difference, but it is a difference that I did want. I gotta copy paste all those layers again, oh no. I think it was Venice, but let me try this other one first. Just to see what happens. Oh no, that's not at all what I wanted. Yeah, I don't like that at all. Like that, I guess. That's probably fine. Taro, yes, hello. This is Procreate. Yeah, copy, paste. Turn all that stuff off. And we can get rid of this down here. Blam. Yeah. I think now I'm gonna be done with this, because otherwise I'll be like nitpicking about it forever and ever. And that's not what I want. So let's watch this whole thing come together again. Wow. Thank you all for hanging out and stuff. Sorry, I'm like still recovering, but it's cool. Should be back again on like Wednesday, maybe? I don't really know, to be honest. Thank you, Ricky. You too. And thanks everybody for hanging out and stuff. Trying to think of what I usually say at the end of these streams. Yeah. If you want to see this or more like it, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram. Same name as here. That's where all of these go when they're done. I should be back, like I said, Wednesday probably, but if not, you can always check me out on YouTube as well to watch the older streams there if you want to have me on in the background while you like fold laundry or something. I don't know. But yeah, thank you all for hanging out. The future joke. No future jokes. I should be back. So until the next time I'm back, go out and do something nice for somebody, you know? Go be a cool force in the world. I guess. And I'll see ya next time or something. I'm like partially rambling and partially putting off the fact that I have to go take medicine that I don't want to take. But okay, I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.